course, our map pool here, it is first to 3. The asterisk, you see, Rise at Nepal only being played if necessary. But of course, we are heading on out. It's going to be Oasis to kick things off here today. And we'll see if this new look hero pool is better for Paris or better for Houston.
You know, I think we could see some very different compositions come out on a map like Oasis, a map that we've seen historically some very strange things. Even Roadhog D.Va, even though Muma's teasing it right now, I'm not convinced yet, but we have seen this composition actually been played in a dominant fashion back in the day on City Center when the meta gets a little bit weird. Sometimes you can pull this out, but it looks like so far just going to be a classic Winston D.Va dive composition.
We didn't talk about it a whole lot, but I also think the fact that Ryan is out of the pool is very good for Muma. He's always been, in my mind, a better Winston than a Reinhardt.
The Zarya Orisa comp coming out for Paris. This is very strange. Going to be relying on bubbling soon on the Reaper, but so much mobility coming to bear for the Houston Outlaws. It's going to be hard for Paris Eternal to keep up, even with that Lucio.
The big question is, are you going to be able to contain Blase? Blase, who is such an impact player for the Outlaws last weekend. Now the Outlaws right now looking for the dive in. Blase already strikes, finds Nico immediately, and Jacob might be more of the same.
In and out, Blase restoring his cooldowns, trying to stay alive, but Paris, they're all caught in the corner. This is not where you want to be against a dive. You're giving up all map position, and Outlaws, they're taking brutal advantage of it.
Blase has everything to hit and more. Moves on in, strikes the Orisa, mid-fortified. Doesn't do quite too much, but the rest of the damage is there, and here comes Dante, room to work with.
This is just not a position you can successfully play for the Paris Eternal. Maybe you can bring the Mei in and try and freeze people, but look at this map. I mean, Houston, they're sitting on the high ground right above your head. They're surrounding you 180 degrees. You're just being flanked from all sides, and you don't even have a D.Va to contest it. So at least Hanbin, one bright spot for Paris, he's able to charge up that grab, first ult on his team. So he's getting a lot out of that fight, but unfortunately no one else is. And Houston's closing in on 6 ults. The only thing they're really far away from is those Meteor Strike and Self-Destruct.
Goes for the early Graviton onto the high ground, looking for it. Pulse bomb out from Dante in response. Mortality field down, and the Outlaws, they lose Repel. See if they're able to stand the fight. Muma can use Primal Rage, buy a little bit of extra time. Paris looking poked down as Blase gets to the back again.
It takes a whole grab just to take out the Ana, and at the end of the day, you're just not getting enough out of that ultimate. Jexa with the rally, able to survive, and soon a long delay here. Houston in total control of this match.
A lot of ground and pound coming out from the Outlaws. Emphasis on the pound. And now Outlaws in a very good spot here, Jake. Paris, they're going for a swap.
Forced to reset almost all their ultimates, but Houston did pay a lot to win that fight. This could be a moment for Paris to get the flip. They do have that sound barrier. Could be forced by Meko's self-destruct, but then that should give an opening for Nico to find a potential Blizzard.
Nico moving in. The Outlaws, meanwhile, playing on the outskirts. Not going to be an easy engage target thus far. Early wall for Nico. The Outlaws still pressuring. But they don't have to make a huge move here, Jake. They can wait, but as they say that, Meko has to burn the self-destruct, trying to stay alive. Still gets chased down. Now Paris, a much better engagement. They're going to wipe out the Outlaws.
That should be exactly the flip that Paris are looking for. Muma striking back, keeping this interesting, but Houston are going to be securing nearly 99% control. If Muma can escape with his life, this will be a very quick reset for the Outlaws. So Paris, they want to chase forward. They want to get some of these cleanup kills. Could be a little bit risky, though, as Soon does fall.
How in the world did Muma get Soon there? Soon was back over. Muma running for his life, and just his emergency jump just landed on Soon by some happenstance.
That's going to stymie any early aggression from Paris. This will get Houston to the point, but they're going to need to win a fight. Although this nano boost onto Muma, he's at 75% Primal Rage, almost guaranteed to finish charging that ultimate with the help of his Ana.
The Outlaws are in a really, really good spot right now. Repel gonna be nanoing Muma, as you say, and him immediately taken down. A decisive dive coming out from the Outlaws, and that should put this round away.
Dante just looking fierce there. So many headshots coming out from him, farming those kills with the assist from Muma. And now Muma with the Primal, just adding insult to injury, diving into the back line. And this round looks so simple for the Outlaws, although Blase just dropped.
Paris right now trying to delay it out, doing a little bit more delay than expected. Still in and around. Soon back to the point, takes down Jexa, and suddenly in Paris, they're trying to bring this one back. The Outlaws might have left their foot off the gas just a little bit. That is amazing.
That stick from Soon is a total game changer. If both supports are alive, they're going to be able to sustain themselves through everything Paris has, but being able to pick off that Ana really takes the legs out from under the Houston Outlaws, although 99% is secured and only the nano boost ready for Paris, and they don't even have a Winston to combo with. It probably will be Soon taking the nano. That could be a struggle against an Ana Brig.
The Outlaws have a good fight ahead of them. So Paris can find a way around. Early sleep on the Hobbit. Bendas, though, gets on the Repel. Deep to the back line. Dante looking to respond, throws out the pulse, does not stick. Paris sustaining here so far. Nano onto Hanbin. Plenty of room to work with, and the Outlaws let this one get away.
FD God, though, pays with a sound barrier to secure that fight, and now JJoNak's rally is going to be functionally uncontested. Soon has a pulse bomb, but that might be the only hope of Paris Eternal to shut down the rally. Of course, rally in the dive mirror, perhaps the strongest ult in the game. Armor is just a brutal thing to be having in the dive mirror. It really keeps your whole team alive, allows you to swarm up.
Final fight on the way. Paris nearly bringing this back in full. Blase no longer on the Doom. Off to the Sombra. Early Bionate forces out the rally from JJoNak. Paris looking to move in. Soon though, the pulse bomb, eat it. That was able to repel back the other side, and the Paris dive dealt with and then some. The Outlaws moving back on over. Movement taken down. We'll see if Paris can have a miracle come back once more.
It's definitely going to take a miracle here. Meko farming damage on the point, does have that self-destruct, although Blase is slept with a full armor stack, so it should be pretty difficult to burst him down. Fight is still going on here, though.
FD got back into it, dealt with Meko, didn't let Meko get back into mech. Dante dancing around, Paris still down in numbers. Dante moving forward, looking for the Hammond, finishes it off. And right now the Outlaws looking to be surgical. Not let Paris get back into the fight once more. They get the point, and that's gonna be the round.
Oh, and the impact of JJoNak's rally there couldn't be more significant. The biotic grenade comes in, hits both supports. In any other situation, that should lead to a double kill on the dive. It was exactly what Hip needed to do. But of course, the rally, you don't care about that biotic grenade. He keeps his fellow support alive, they outlast, and they're able to win the team fight.
Also going into that, Meko was able to move in, eat the pulse bomb that could have done a lot of damage, could have given Paris an easy fight win. And even still, you think about how Paris brought that back. They brought back a fight where I think they were down 2, if not 3, from an early engage, and the Outlaws kind of let themselves get picked off one by one, and Paris very nearly brought that one back.
Yeah, that round definitely should have been even more dominant for the Outlaws, especially after that almost free mid-fight. Houston just dominating off the back of an early sleep from Repel. So Houston, though, going to be bringing a slightly different look here with the Zen, adding a little bit more range damage, but against the Tracer Sombra, this could end up being a liability.
Also, Blase not going to be on the Doom to start things out. Instead, that's right, it's Legs. 76 in play. You see Blase on the top right now, where Soldier usually likes to be.
Paris should be forced into the aggressive position. Of course, Soldier going to output more damage over time than this Sombra, but Meko caught with the Discord, putting pressured heavily on point.
Soldier right now still using the high ground, not under a whole lot of pressure. Plenty of sightlines to work with, dancing back and forth. Even though falling early makes this a little bit more difficult. Humpin over the top, in danger, poked on down. That's it, gonna take down Humpin. The Outlaws still maintaining on the point, even though a little bit down in numbers and definitely getting pressure.
If one of these support ults comes online early, FD got the 1 HP. Dante finishes the kill, though it's traded quickly.
Both teams trading on out. Got Blase back to the fight. Attack visors up, he's gonna go for it. Muma got to the back, takes down 2. Soon tries equalize, not enough. Caught by Blase. And the Outlaws gonna be swapping this back around.
Great patience from Houston. Even though Muma falls early, they're able to stabilize in that hallway, outlast, and the Dante clutch pickoff onto FD God, shutting down that backline, denying the heals for Paris. Although Nico does have that EMP to rely on, and Repel not quite available with the Transcendence. He could be an easy target for the EMP if he can't finish his trance in time.
Muma's going off on a long flank right now. You take a look, he's way behind, looking for the Zen. He's super far from his team. Paris, meanwhile, they're just diving on the front. Nico drops EMP, deals with Repel, and all the while, where is Muma? Muma's just in a different corner of the map, and Paris takes well advantage.
The Sombra just scouts everything and gets so much value now. Houston really just in a position to delay, but Meko somehow finds Hip in the midst of this fight. Hip electing to conservatively hold his Transcendence, just rely on FD God's rally. Meko also getting the self-destruct, trying desperately to keep this delay going, but a little bit too little too late there as everyone falling for the Outlaws.
I think the Outlaws, I'm not entirely sure. You saw Muma going off around there and Paris just went in. Was he just trying to catch the supports from behind?
I think he's trying to somehow start the fight earlier, but maybe caught off by Paris taking a different path to point than he expected.
So, even so far here on round 2, 46-39. Gonna have an early rally here from the Outlaws. They look to move on in. Meanwhile, soon, pulse bomb out early, gets the stick on Blase. Takes him out. And now Paris can play a little bit further back. The range threat no longer there. And with Muma out of the fight, the Outlaws, they need to retreat.
They're trying their best to escape, but Paris doing the right thing here, diving in, cleaning up all these kills. They have a huge player out, and they make use of it. So far, the Sombra just turning up a lot more than the Soldier 76 in the long fight. The threat of that hack really puts so much pressure onto Muma and Meko. If they get caught off with just one hack, that's going to spell their death and give Paris the advantage they need to take point. And JJoNak commits the rally there, doesn't get the point flip out of it. Means Paris is in a very strong position to take this round, but not with an opening pick like that.
Soon peeks the corner, gets caught by Repel. Now the Outlaws moving on in, 6 on 5. Paris trying to buy a little bit of time for Tracer to get back to the battle. The Outlaws taking a lot of positions up, but the EMP off the other way. They counter-engage, down players, and make that one work. Now the Outlaws in real danger here. 98%, can they stall for long? I don't think so.
The reaction time from Repel just not quick enough. He did have that Transcendence available, so NiKo takes the risk, and it pays off big time. Paris takes map 2, and looked very dominant from starting off on the dive composition. I think this, just playing to their strengths. Look at that last map. So much was lost running that wonky Orisa Zarya comp. It really didn't work out for them at all, and it really put them so far behind. And when they go mirror dive, it looked just so much more dominant for Paris.
Well, the other thing I'd bring up too is that Paris ran something that I think played way more to their strengths, particularly with Soon on the Tracer. When you look on the other side for the Outlaws, I'm not convinced that 76 is necessarily a strong point for a Blase, where he can play to a degree, but you compare it to his performance on the Doom, it's a pretty stark difference.
I mean, to be honest, I think this is less on Blase's skill on the hero, and for me, it's more on the hero choice itself. Although, as we go to a much longer range map, there's less cubbies for Sombra to hide in and threaten hacks from less relevant megas on the map to hack. So this should be a little bit better for Blase on the Soldier, as Houston takes the long road, electing to not fight on the jump pad. I think this is a correct decision against a Sombra Tracer that, has that increased mobility on you.
Well, until EMP comes into the fray, the Outlaws will definitely be working with the poke advantage. See if they'll be able to translate that into an early fight win. Soon, under a bit of pressure, going to the back. The isolation on the Muma already hacked, in a bit of danger. Getting very, very low early on. Paraso taking poke the other way. Soon, nice recall, saves him in the nick of time. Soon though, still a bit of danger. The Outlaws falling back. Both teams are now just feeling each other out as Hip getting very, very low. Benbez, same boat. Benbez gonna fall. Dante starting to open things up.
It's the early pressure from Dante. Sets Hip to 1 HP, forces him essentially out of the fight, and when FD God is low as well, even though Dante doesn't get those opening picks, it's actually the damage that makes all the difference there, keeping the supports out of the fight for Paris Eternal. If the Zen and the Brig can't come in, they can't support, they might as well be dead. So props to Dante, punishing Soon's recall and finding the big value of that fight.
Tracer v Tracer, you love to see it. It's been a while. Now the Outlaws in a good spot, but Muma gets hacked. Muma in real danger and cannot get away. NiKo, a big punish, opens the way for Paris.
Dante desperate to equalize with this pulse bomb, but no obvious targets present themselves. He does spot supports. I'd expect him to see to make a move here. Ooh, so close.
Dante looks for pulse, cannot find the stick. Now on the hunt for NiKo, still the other way. Blase, tack visor, over. Looking for anything, tack visor about to go away, but not before Benbez. Caught on the other side, the pressure from the Outlaws is enough, they're gonna maintain control.
What a sick move from Blase and Meko. Even though Blase's not getting a ton of damage with that tack visor, he and Meko are able to charge into the side, keep control of point, and that was incredibly close. If Houston Outlaws had lost the flip there, it would have cost them a lot of objective pressure.
If you're the Outlaws right now, how do you play around the CMP?
This is on Repel, 100%. He needs to hit the trance reaction on the EMP. NiKo took the risk last time, caught Repel with his pants down, frankly, just not trancing in time. Repel, he has to react better this time.
That's what you should be looking at here. Look at the top of your screen. Repel on the right, NiKo on the left. We'll see if Repel can get away from it. Muma off the primal. Takes the crime of opportunity, gets Hip out of the fight.
Muma trying to escape the hack, though, is going to turn the frag back in the favor of Paris Eternal.
5 on 5. EMP versus Transcendence game, still a thing. It's the Outlaws trying to buy time, playing around. Muma the swap to the ham and the hack onto Meko. Repel still hang on to the Transcendence, and no, uses it early. NiKo still at the EMP, JJoNak out of the fight. Now Paris in a winning position. EMP is yet to be invested here, Jake, and they're gonna win without it.
This is just a disaster for the Houston Outlaws. Everything going wrong there. Meko hacked. Repel tries to commit the trance to keep him in mech. Although Houston strikes back with a couple frags. Somehow Muma and Dante trying to deliver some heroics, but Muma's just going to die late here and stagger the Houston Outlaws. Although they do get 99% control. Paris, they have so many ults. If they play this just perfect, they should be able to have some good fight wins here, essentially for free off their ult bank. Although I love this from Repel. Switches over to the Ana. Does not want to be a zero trance Zen against the EMP. He knows he's just a sitting duck in that condition. The Ana has a lot of potential to drop the Bionade or potentially a huge play with a Sleep Dart.
First thing to look at here has to be NiKo on the setup, the EMP ready. Paris, it's not just about winning this fight, it's about setting up to win the next. How clean can they make it? Nico moving in, EMP set up, hits 4. The rest of Paris diving in. The rally from JJoNak though, keeping the Outlaws nice and healthy. The EMP is over. The Outlaws still alive. Blase can get away, they can reset, they can come back in. All the heals on Blase. Meko, the bomb the other way. Looking for it, Paris able to dodge. Now you have the self-destruct in from Hanbin. JJoNak finds Hip and the Outlaws. This is a brilliant rotation so far, Jake.
Houston just constantly kiting throughout this fight. They lose nobody. That's 4 ults for the Paris Eternal. They get absolutely nothing out of it. Now Houston setting up to close out this match, setting up to close out the map as well.
What a nice rotation from the Outlaws. They get the reflip, and now Paris backs against the wall. Overtime ticking down. Can they find the stall? They're losing players 1 by 1. Just Nico moving on to buy a little bit of time. Paris desperately trying to hang on. FD God nowhere to go, taken on down. And Dante right now on cleanup duty. The Outlaws take map 1.
I just love watching Dante on the Tracer. He's so dangerous on that hero. Outlaws feeling confident. You know, I said right there, that's a total cast of Paris. I said Paris, they've got this first fight locked up. Huge ult bag, 4 ults to make it work. But Outlaws, they just beautifully dance around them.
Is about to fall because you'll see teams go back and forth, then suddenly go, oh, they're low. We are going to go in. And speaking of going in, Havana, the next map we are heading off to here today. That's right, it's Escort, second in the rotation. We'll see what both teams have in store, but it's going to be a new Havana because this is a map that normally is very Widow dominated, but Widow is not walking through that door here today.
I'm actually really excited to see maps like Havana, like Junkertown, that have been just completely dominated by Widow, as you said, since they came out. I mean, the sidelines are just ridiculously long. At the Overwatch League level of play, there's simply no heroes in the game that can challenge Widow at that sightline, on third point, on first point. It's really brutal if you're not ready to take the duel. We saw in the last meta so many teams starting on McCree and then just completely falling when the Widow pecks away at them from range. So getting Widow out of the pool will, I think, show a new side of maps like Havana.
Also, not to be underestimated is that Reinhardt not around, so teams more willing to run things that are divey. It's why you're seeing the Outlaws decide to put Muma onto the Winston, one of his best heroes. Meanwhile, Paris deciding to go with the Orisa. What's the difference between the two?
Well, the Orisa Sigma is really going to be in a defensive position here, trying to survive and get pickoffs with that Halt Rock combo, where Outlaws, they're going to be flanking, surrounding the enemy team, trying to poke down their shields and potentially pick off a backliner. Soon on this Reaper, I think, is going to quite struggle. He's pretty much here to defend, although now a TP flank coming in could open something up.
Nope,
immediately
not
crushed.
at all. That's going to 6 seconds, by the way, potentially, right now, change-wise. So, good news for Soldier fans, even better news for Blase, and a very tough opening for Soon.
Yeah, and you know, Paris just in the corner, not really able to charge up any ultimate. Shows how hard it is to play without that diva. Soon TP's in. Normally you would have a diva behind you, matrixing you, but he doesn't have the support in that instance, and he just gets cut down by the rocket.
So, Blase, good opening here for the Outlaws. They're holding on back. So even though they have Muma on the dive, they're giving Paris a good amount of room right now. Is Dante now on the outskirts. 99%, the pulse bomb up, stuck directly in, takes down the Orisa. Nice stuff from Dante.
The Outlaws look so sharp on this dive. Everyone poking from all sides, but no one overcommitting. Meko, though, gets caught, gets frozen. Gonna be demacked, although he might have an opportunity to remech because Paris, they're not able to push out of this corner. Now Muma's diving in an early primal.
Goes for the primal. This is not where you want to be against Winston, though they do put a lot of damage on the Muma. They're gonna force him out. All the while, though, the Outlaws, they buy time off that. Transcendence up. Paris can get a little bit more progress.
Paris, though, they have no support ults, and now they're forced out in the open. This is the weakest moment for the comp. They're going to try and get aggressive, but the Trance immediately counters that push.
Best isolated, and Muma just pummeling Paris through the middle. Of course, Blase set up a lot of that with attack visor.
Strategically, I'm just so worried about this comp from Paris Eternal. The Reaper and Mei, these are close-range heroes. They want to be fighting in those cubbies, yet even when Paris is in that close-range environment, they are fighting under the point, not even on cart, not even pressuring the objective. Still in that environment, Houston's able to take the fight win.
Of course, we see how Muma set this up. By the way, look at Muma's ult here. He built so much ult in the middle of this, on top of helping finish them off, already at 63% for the next fight.
And now Paris sitting in the cubby as they're wont to do, but still Dante's not scared to poke away at them. Nico, I mean, Dante's just having absolutely no respect for Nico's icicles right now. This is pretty deadly. Paris, they need to shut him down.
No one is checking Dante at all right now. It's a huge problem to Paris. Nico, Blizzard up and right. Dante, though, finds Ana soon out. Nico not going to have a chance to make things frosty.
Big Blizzard comes in, but there's no follow-up whatsoever there. That's very ambitious from Nico. Gets absolutely nothing with arguably the most important ult for Paris Eternal.
I just gave Nico the benefit of the doubt, saying, okay, he's gonna save for next fight. Jake, he threw it out at the very end of the fight.
And now we see Soon onto the Tracer, but he's so aggressive. He's instant recall for Soon, getting totally out of sync with his team, and with no Zen, Dante's gonna have the advantage with that Harmony Orb. So much easier to heal a Tracer that way than with an Ana that actually has to land initial scope shots on him.
The Jake retirement bump, that's a stat, Jake. You are involved in this one, just so you know.
I'm the secret weapon. Just retire my jersey and you win every game.
The Outlaws not win without Jake, even in 2020. See if that stays true. Dante over poke bomb Eden. Hanbin all over that one. The Outlaws a little bit poked down. Repel though still hanging on to Transcendence. Echo starting out with the bomb, and oh, Muma there on the setup knocks him into the self-destruct. And the Outlaws taking advantage of the chaos. Final 30 seconds left for the Eternal.
Paris just looks strategically outmatched here. Soon running for the hills. Dante immediately hunts him down, forces the recall back into the rest of the Outlaws, but nothing left for Soon. Now staggered out once again. The only bright spot for the Paris Eternal is they have double support ult, but this Orisa strategy just looks horrible for Paris Eternal. It just looks like a coaching mistake to me. They're getting slaughtered, gonna have to switch over to this traditional dive comp, but it's so little so late. At least you have some support ults. Those can be really important here, but if Dante finds a stick, oh no, and an immediate pick up on a Ben.
The Nano went on the Hanbin, not Ben best. I think it was supposed to go on the Ben, but Ben is gone. Ben is out of the fight. And Outlaws so much to work with, finds him. All the sight lines are his. The bomb Ramen though, to the back, takes down Repel. Paris trying to hang on. Meko though, 2 melee kills with 1 strike. Oh, the Outlaws, their diva plays coming in at the same. And now Paris looking for a miracle. It's not gonna be Ben that caused that one. The Outlaws, a tremendous hold.
Just completely out-strategized here, you know, on Havana. This is what we talked about, how important this could be on when the hero pool meta. You know, you're going to see teams like the Paris Eternal, you know, they've been so dominant in a stable meta when they knew exactly what to play, and it was just a question of executing it better than the other team. That was their strong suit. But now they've looked so lost. I mean, playing Orisa Zarya, that's not a comp that we've really ever seen have a high impact. You know, it's new, it's inventive, but it just got completely annihilated by a skilled dive team.
We talk about how JJoNak gives 100% even in the team high 5 game. He just shifted out of position there to get to his teammates. That's the type of hustle.
You got to dap up the homies, man. You're feeling the hype. You got to keep it rolling, and that's so important in a game like Overwatch, especially in a competition like Dive. You need to have that confidence in one another, going one after the other into the. You know, sometimes you see Muma just diving right into the chaos. You need to trust your team in order to make plays like that. Houston setting themselves up very well to go up 2-0 in this series.
Looking like a new Outlaws team, and you know, Jake, it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. We are going with the Jake retirement bump. It's all you, buddy. It's all you.
You're welcome, Houston. Now every team sign me for 1 game, retire my jersey. You're welcome. I guess only half the teams in the league, because not everybody can win. But once again, we see Paris on this Reaper May comp. I mean, this is going to be relying on essentially an all-in rush on the spawn doors. So if Houston come out too far and they get caught up by a May wall, this could pay off big time. But if it fails for the Paris Eternal, they might be looking at a down 2-0 series. It's all scouted. There's no surprise now either.
Not at least, but Blase back onto the Doomfist. Paris, beware. See if they have the answer. So far, May Reaper has usually not been in. Repel, though, taken down early. A decisive dive, but Nkosi, other side, the Bionade in from Repel. Turns this tide of the fight in Paris. They're gonna get wiped out here. Even though they've lost a few, the respawns are coming in.
You know, it looks even, but it's absolutely a stomp for the Houston Outlaws. You know, those are just a complete sacrifice from the players of the Houston Outlaws. They send the supports out one side, the obvious targets. Of course, Paris immediately bites, but it's a total bait. Dante, Blase, Muma all coming in from the other side, striking with those dangerous divers, getting the pickoffs. Paris, they have no ult advantage to speak of whatsoever.
Versus Blase, fresh out of spawn, looking for it. Paris all super low, super weak, and Doomfist feasting in those sorts of situations.
Muma already initiating with the Primal, trying to split up the enemy team. Does get hacked up by Soon, but it's Blase picking off Nico. Dante onto Soon. This is almost all over.
You're looking at Muma, you're not looking at Blase. Now to the back, sending Ana on a very wild ride. And now the Outlaws are so close now, moving on forward. Dante and Blase swarming over Paris. And Paris, they are out of players. They're just about out of time. Moving forward, can they even touch it? They do, but it should not be for long. And the Outlaws, they do it, they take map 2.
The Outlaws looking absolutely reinvigorated after that win in front of the home crowd last week. We talked about this being a potential momentum shifter, but I don't think anyone thought it would. Yeah, you know, the only hero we've seen a lot of Exceon is the Hanzo, maybe, in terms of heroes that are still in the pool for this series. Eichenwald, a great map for Hanzo. It seems that Paris has wanted a heavy focus on these Orisa-based bunker compositions, offense and defense. The question is, will they make a halftime adaptation here? I can't help but feel that the Orisa hasn't worked out on the other two maps, but at the same time, Eichenwald is a much more close-range map, much more enclosed, less flanking routes. Muma maybe putting a little bit of shade onto Orisa as he hops off the map there. Gonna come back on the Winston, where he's been dominating. And I want to give a special shout out to Muma. He's received a lot of criticism for his Reinhardt play, oftentimes seeming separated from the team, seeming disjointed. But here, back on Winston, back on his strong suits, I think he's just a player who you give him these solo play heroes that can focus on getting their own value, making their own plays, and Muma can really shine, really be one of the best players in the Overwatch League.
Particularly when Primal Rage comes into play. Such a mechanical ultimate, requires a lot of time to master, and something that Muma definitely has over time. It's going to be Exi in to the fray, not playing the Ashe, instead onto the Tracer, what Zoom was playing just a little bit ago.
Big difference maker is the Ana Lucio versus the Zen. Dante with that Harmony Orb is going to have a big advantage in the Tracer though. Muma though gets forced out pretty quickly.
Muma under a lot of pressure right now. Man repel and Jexay bring it back up. Still though, it gives Paris the opportunity to move on in, get a little bit better positioning. And Exi still on the hunt.
Nico gets sent packing, has to translocate, although Exi on the flank gets cut out. He's not going to have too much of an opening here. Blase with the Soldier in this cubby is doing a lot, keeping that poke heavily onto the Paris Eternal's tanks. Nano Boost, though, should be online very, very soon.
Exi moving over, Pulse Bomb set up, looking for Muma. Muma knows what was coming. Muma wanted no part of that. Meanwhile, Blase still in a safe spot, raining down damage. Exi goes for the stick, gets Blase, not safe anymore. And Paris now starting to work their way in, but the Outlaws at least doing a decent job of delaying.
This fight's not over yet, though. I think Outlaws will have a chance to stabilize Jexa on the Brig with both supports falling for Paris Eternal. That's where Brig just completely dominates the game. When the game gets down numbers, both teams trading kills. A Brig with high HP can be an impossible target to take down.
Also for the Outlaws, Blase gonna be back into the fight a little bit earlier. Of course, being able to run. Pretty useful ability as it turns out.
And Dante, I want to highlight him here, doing such a great job keeping the pressure onto Nico. Nico challenged at every moment on the flank, only at 65% EMP, repelled way ahead with that Transcendent.
The Outlaws back up to a full 6, able to get in a good spot. Blase once more, well protected. Both tanks just being bodyguards for him. Paris focusing on the point. Bedbest not getting a whole lot off this Nano. Forced on back, the Nano does not do much. Hombin's taken out, here comes Blase. Attack visors up, laying in the damage to Bedbest. Nowhere for him to hide. And Blase gets the Helix rocket onto the Pilot Diva. Gets exploded on his own, the other side. Now Nico, EMP is ready. Paris not thrown off the point here just yet. The question is, do they invest the EMP?
Transcendence was forced but repelled there, so there's no counter to the EMP. Beat comes out from FD God, and that might just be enough here. The hack onto Meko prevents him from using his self-destruct, although Muma might want to turn with the Primal Rage.
This is where Muma can be a big, big playmaker, but the EMP could ruin his day. Muma forced to use Primal, under pressure, couldn't wait for an opportunity to knock people off. It gets slept. Woken up immediately though, so Muma still working around. Nico, meanwhile, EMP on the point, striking 3. It's a little bit discombobulated though, there was no follow through. The Outlaws turn it back. Dante got room to work with, and definitely not phased by the EMP at all.
I mean, that was a very, very mediocre EMP from Nico. He's been struggling so much to charge it up. And what does he catch with it? He gets a Pilot Diva, 0 impact whatsoever. He gets a Soldier 76, who had already dropped Heal Pad, and he gets a Brig. So pretty much the only impact is the Brig. That's really not significant at all, and for an ultimate like EMP, you just need to be getting more out of it. Houston, they want to get this full hold, and Meko's self-destruct could be the key.
Houston looking to make this match a very, very quick one if they can. Exi right now going to the back, trying to open up anything for Paris. Nico under pressure. Exi, pulse bomb. Exi continuing the hunt. Paris just waiting to see if Exi can open anything up. And now they're getting Nano Bedbest up and over, trying to dive to the back, ends up falling. And the Outlaws withstanding for now. They're down Dante, but still with 5J.
Tracer will be back so fast. That stick, though, could be the moment. Jeks it down. It's only repels Transcendence, and with members dropping left and right for the Outlaws, this might be the signal to give up first point. Repel doesn't agree, though.
They decide to go for it. They have 3 on the point. They're going to use Transcendence to buy a little bit of time. Blase comes back in, gets slept mid-tack visor. So Blase maybe not going to be the hero. And Paris, they finally get the first point.
That commitment may come back to haunt the Houston Outlaws. Nico almost up with his next EMP, and without a Transcendence, it's really going to be all on Jexis somehow hitting a big stun. Exi, though, as well on the flank, wants to chase down these frags, but it's actually Paris who are overextending.
Benbest caught out Exi. See if he stays in the back line. Going for Repel. Tracer v Zen. Takes down the Zen.
Yeah, Exi gets the fight win, though. He is hunted by Blase. That's a big difference maker. Muma hacked in the front, not able to engage his primal. Quick takedown, so nice heads-up play by Nico, uncloaking behind the Winston.
Nico right now, just looking to build EMP, not do anything too crazy. Paris focused on the objective for now, Jake.
Yeah, without the Winston, Houston probably not looking to take a fight anytime soon, but this is going to buy a lot of time for Nico to get up in that flank, set up a potential EMP, especially if he can get Muma before the Primal Rage comes out. Muma will really be suffering.
Looking for Tracer v Tracer. Nico still around, looking to set the EMP. Early Primal out here from Benbest. The Outlaws hanging on back. Muma low. Primal's out. Gets off in the nick of time. Benbest about to stop being angry. Blase finds hip. And the Outlaws doing a really nice job of sustaining here. Nico, so far, has yet to find an opportunity to EMP.
Blase working on his 5K time as he circles the entire map here, but still managing to have an impact in the fight. Xe Kobe's the pulse bomb, but finds absolutely nothing. Blase still being hunted, but everyone coalescing around him, keeping him up, stunned down and taken out his Xe.
You ever play Tracer just get completely demolished by 3 people? Just happened there.
Oh, that's so big. Meko finds the D-Mech onto Hanbin. He will be D-Mech as well for his team, but he's going to have a lot of time to get back in the suit, and the pickoffs are coming in hot and heavy for the Outlaws. Paris forced into a rough reset.
The Outlaws, the pressure they're putting out right now is insane. A lot of credit to both Dante and Muma. And Blase being the glue in the back right now, the constant poke and prod coming in from 76.
If Muma takes the nano here, he could be absolutely devastating. Setting up in the flank, it seems that they haven't scouted him. Nico maybe knows where he is, but just maybe didn't see him there out of the corner of his eye. Oh, and Xe dies before the dive.
Turns the corner into the Helix rocket. You hate to see it. The Outlaws 6 on 5. Blase looking for a bit of extra cleanup. Hip out of the fight. Paris running out of time. Final 10 seconds, and I'm not even sure we're going to see a last-minute stall.
That's a 2-man EMP from Nico. Finds the Diva and the Ana, and the Diva was already slept. Once again, Nico not really producing on the Sombra, not finding anything this map, just too much pressure applied by Dante, especially on the Tracer.
Paris right now, they use Primal. Benbest put to sleep, and then fully put back to spawn. Blase, an easy 2 at the end. Houston not looking troubled at all. Paris can't delay any longer. A hold in the middle of Eichenwald, and this is making things very, very tough for Paris.
We're just seeing a completely revitalized Houston Outlaws here. The hero pools have been so important for them. Everyone looking great. Dante on the Tracer, Blase on the Sombra, on the Soldier, Jexa on the Brig as well. Just keeping the glue, everyone together.
Well, now we'll see if Paris now down to their...
They must be dominating in scrims, and this is really nothing close here for the Paris Eternal. They haven't been able to make anything work just yet.
We hit the rare equilibrium here in Overwatch where the scrim bucks have actually converted to real bucks here thus far. And of course, part of the reason for it is our hero pool system. But guess what? We got another hero draw on the Watchpoint post show live tomorrow night, Sunday, after the Uprising take on the Reign. And guess what? Mr. X is not doing the drawing this time. He will not be the villain.
Somebody else hopefully can draw May, but May really not seeing much playtime at all this patch. So very interesting to see. Without Ryan, she's less dominant.
It'll be Sideshow. I'm pretty sure Sideshow will be the one to send us all to oblivion. Bank on it. But now, it's Paris facing Oblivion. They can't do something quick to turn this one around.
Nico has really been suffering on the Sombra this far, not able to produce anything, really weak EMPs in the first half of the round. He's going to have to change that up, although Hip opened things up on Muma. That's going to buy some space.
It's good for Paris in the defense, but it needs to be more. Realistically, you take a look at their situation, the best chance for a victory right now has to be a first point hold.
Yeah, it really does. It's so close on that second point. You're going to have to shut down this Doomfist, but there's a lot of rollout options here on first point for Blase. We'll see if he likes to play with a more team-centric style, though.
I do like the Zen here for Paris. And you notice here so far, they're playing the Discord Orb almost exclusively on Muma.
Yeah, just shutting him down, keeping his game very, very difficult. But now Outlaws starting to get a little bit of control of the map, starting to move past that initial choke. Again, though, Muma struck down.
No Discord Orb required. It was on Dante, who falls right after. Paris taking down the 2 threats, and it really has been Muma and Dante, the ones poking into the side of Paris. they can isolate him like that, it could be the start of a turnabout.
You know, I was just going to say, I don't agree with that Doomfist pick from Blase. It's just so difficult. Sombra, Tracer, Brig, all these heroes can completely dominate you in those flank fights. You just can't get any map control. So Blase going to switch over to the Sombra, but Nico already at 80% to the EMP. It's going to be on the Nano, essentially, to keep the Houston Outlaws alive through that.
Well, we have the Nano on the Muma. Muma looking to make some space, forces out the Transcendence. Benbest, though, he's not in there praying. Finally, gets back over. Dante, though, nowhere to go, taken out by Exi, and Paris just huddling together for safety, and it works.
I love the commitment as well from the Transcendence. Hip realizing that because Blase just switched over to the Sombra, he's not going to have the EMP threat online anytime soon. Hip just taking a little bit of a gamble, saying that he thinks he can charge up that Transcendence once again before Blase has the EMP. So watch those ultimate charge. Whoever wins that race could put themselves in a very good position to win the map.
There's also a weird area for the Outlaws where they have to put Blase in the Sombra as opposed to Dante. Normally you'd want Dante on it, but Dante can't play both heroes at the same time. EMP, Nico, over, slept immediately. Might not be able to get out, but guess what? Paris is there on the follow-through. They protect Nico, they let him have a nap, but they lose him in the process, and now see if the Outlaws can make anything happen as a result.
Outlaws still fighting. A nice hack from Nico prevents Meko from committing the self-destruct. Muma as well, wisely hanging on to the Primal Rage. So Houston just playing the ultimate game here, setting themselves up for a final fight. Benbest coming back. Somehow Muma finds himself deep in the enemy spawn. Although this could actually present an opening. It's hard to chase him down quickly in this environment. Outlaws getting onto the point in the rest of the map, and Muma just wasting so much time.
Muma's a wanderer, is what we're seeing here, but somehow Exi gets caught out. The disruption, they chase down Muma. Dante, pulls Pami and Hamid trying to turn it around, but Muma's excellent adventure might have actually worked out for the Outlaws here. Bomb over the top, nowhere close. And the Outlaws so close now to getting point A. Paris in danger. The EP comes out from Blase. Doesn't do too much, but the Outlaws still a numerical advantage on the point. Muma continues to clean up. And what a wild point A so far.
You know, I just want to say, don't try this at home at your rank games. You're going to fail. You're not as good as Muma, but he absolutely makes that work. The next level distraction play brings both tanks back, and Exi realizes, like, where are you guys? I'm fighting alone on point. Gets cut down, and that creates exactly the advantage that the Outlaws needed.
I'm wondering, is that big brain or is that small brain with an even smaller brain response? Because I kind of feel like it's the latter.
I think that's absolutely wise with the Primal Rage in the tank. Muma knows he's able to escape from that situation very reliably, so he creates a ton of space for his team. Now diving in immediately onto Hip.
Dante was there with the follow-through. Muma and Dante again setting the table that Blase knocks down. And this is looking real good for the Outlaws, potentially one fight away.
I love Muma's playstyle. Just immediately, before the fight is even over, he's going straight to the enemy spawn. He says, this is my homeland, and now he's setting up on the flank with the Primal Rage. And we're coming to this bridge part of Eichenwald. How do you push Muma out? If you come out too far into this bridge, he's going to send you straight off the map with the Primal.
Oh, Muma wants to be the hero. He's got a broom. The Primal Rage is ready. Moving on forward. It's time now to sweep Paris. What Houston's looking for. The bomb from Dante takes on FD God. Paris against the wall. Fight they cannot lose. But the Outlaws in great position. 3 already down. And the Outlaws just about there. Paris running out of numbers, running out of time. The Outlaws sweep the Paris Eternal.
All I can say is, wow, the Houston Outlaws look totally renewed. Muma and Dante hunting down those backlines with ease. The coordination from this team, it started to look so rough for them there at the end of that first point push. Those potential misplays in terms of hero picks for the Houston Outlaws, but they turn it around. I think that's just a next level play from Muma, recognizing the potential of the map geometry. It's so much quicker for him to get back to the